All right, you ready to change your oil? Let's get started. You'll be able to change your oil from 2008 to 2020 on any Sequoia or Tundra 5.7 liter V8 engine. First thing you want to do, pop the hood, open your oil cap, remove it, set it aside. This will allow airflow to flow once you release the drain cap. Next, we're going to go underneath the vehicle, remove the skid plate. There's 5 12mm bolts and 3 10mm bolts that we got to remove. I'll show you where those are at. All right, down under we go. This is your skid plate here. Looking underneath it, you'll see 1, 2, supposed to be one here, but it's missing 3 10mm bolts that hold the little plastic front bumper. Then you'll have one 12 there, and you'll have another 12 right there. You'll also have 1 12 in the back right here, a 12 in the middle back here, and then you'll also have a 12mm right here. Once those are removed, you can lift up on the plate and to the driver's side, and it will fall down. For safety, you can go ahead and slap a jack under there if you're afraid of a car falling down on you for whatever reason. All right, let's go ahead and remove these bolts, and I'll show you the next step. All right, once we remove those 5 12mm bolts, this guy will be loose. Now I'll just remove your 3 10mm bolts, pulling on the front clip. Once you got those 3 bolts taken off, it's only held on by, I don't know if you can see it, there's 2 hooks. You can kind of see it holding on right there. One on each side, so you have to lift up on it and move it to the driver's side, and it should fall down. That's what we'll do now. There we go. Just gonna lift up. Lift up, slide to the right. Boom. And she should fall down. And I'll show you those hooks. See, there's one hook there and another hook right there. Right there. And those will go, when you put them back, the hook goes through that big oval shape. One right there. And the other one is right over here. So you'll put them back in those ovals and then slide it to the passenger side, and it'll lock it, and it'll catch on this little hook here. And that will hold it up. So hopefully that makes sense for you. Taking it off and on. That's probably the hardest part of the job right there. So the rest should be a piece of cake. Let's continue. All right, so you got the skid plate out of the way. You're ready to move on. Slide under here and you'll see, bam, right there is your oil filter. Now you see that little square thing in the middle? Go ahead and grab your socket. 3/4 inch socket. Just your regular old socket, right? Grab your socket. And what you're going to do is you're going to slap it up in there. Right up in here. If it wants to focus. And you're going to take that off. Now, with your filter, it should come with a little thing like this. Okay. We're going to use this to drain the oil out of this filter housing so it doesn't pour all over the place. Okay. Makes it a little easier. Makes it a little easier. Once we got that taken care of, we'll slide back this way. And you see this little canister thing here, right here? That's your oil. That's your oil. And over here on the left side, you'll see the bolt right there. It's a 14mm you're going to need. Okay. Now, if you don't have any extra washers, that's okay. You can reuse the same one. But if you're planning ahead, pick up yourself a little washer kit. I just picked up this one here. You know, Auto Major. It's just an oil drain plug for Toyota. Comes with your differential. Just a bunch of washers, as you can see. A bunch of washers. One of them's going to fit over your new, it's gonna replace your old it's gonna replace your old bolt O-ring washer. All right, not required, but it is, you like to put a new one on there. But if you don't got one, you got to do it now. Just make sure you button it up nice and it's not leaking after you tighten her up, okay? All right, so first we're gonna go ahead and install this little plastic gizmo. Let's take this off. All right, let's take that little silver thing off. Here we go. 1, 2. All right, we got it off. Take your plastic thing here. You're gonna stick it in the hole. Okay. Push it in there. There we go. As soon as you push it in there, it'll start draining like so. Make sure you have something to catch her in. I'm just using this little tub here. Should be fine. So whatever you got, catch your oil, and you can just put it back inside the old containers when you're done. Go ahead and let that drip all the way out until it's not dripping anymore, right? You can see it's pretty, I don't know, it's kind of a red color. That's kind of weird. But we're going to slap in some appropriate color oil in there, all right? And you should be good to go. Let that drain out, then we'll move over to the main oil holster. We'll take this out. We'll slap on our special little tool to undo this Toyota filter housing. You'll need a little special tool I'll show you here in a second. If you don't, maybe you can use a wrench, oil wrench, and grab a hold of her and twist her off if you have to, if you don't got the special tool. It's like 10 bucks. But if you don't got it, you need to do it. Big old pliers might work, or they got some oil wrenches too that might work too if you don't got the tool on hand. Okay. I'm gonna let this drain out here and then we'll remove this housing. So we're back. Put the plug back on. Put a little more than, you know, tight, a little extra snug, but don't over tighten it. You don't need to put that super tight back on. Next, you grab your special tool. Looks like this. Okay. It just fits over the bottom, like so, for you can grab it. Now, if you don't have one of these, that's all right. But if you're looking for it, the model is 64P-14. Okay. I'm sure they have lots of different ones. I think I got this one real cheap on eBay for like 10 bucks or something like that. Okay. But if you don't got that, just give yourself some big pliers. You can probably grab onto there and twist her off. Shouldn't be on there too tight. Let's go ahead and take that off. Once you got that loosened up, go ahead and just hand loosen it the rest of the way. And if you drained enough out, it shouldn't come splashing out. Otherwise, if you didn't have the tool, it'll just come gushing all over the place. So be prepared for that. Now it looks like they used too tall of a filter, doesn't it? See how it's kind of squished down there? That might be okay though. So take this unit, take out the old filter, put in the new filter, and make sure you fill it up with oil just below the cap line here, just where it gets soaked up and it's not dry. So you just put your new one in, pour oil inside till you can see it just below this line. You don't want to go over the line, the lid, otherwise it'll overflow like it's doing now, right? So fill that up, pre-fill it up with new oil. You're gonna slap that back in there, screw it in nice and snug, not over tightened, just really snug. Okay, then we'll move on to that back bolt. Then this will be good. All right, some things to note. The filter. You want to make sure they look the same. That'll help you out. It should come with some O-rings like so. Okay, in your new kit. I just bought, you know, a cheap one here, CarQuest one. There's the part number if you're doing the job, you haven't got it yet for some reason. All right, so make sure, I want to point out, your big O-ring is on this piece. It's on the bottom. Just use yourself a little flat head or something to remove that. Pull it up over it. Make sure you put it back on the same spot all the way at the bottom, like you see where it is right now, right there where my finger is. The other O-ring is usually on the inside here, underneath, so I usually don't worry about that one. So it usually goes on like so, but on the underneath side. So to replace that, you have to unscrew this. So usually that one is fine. Just make sure you replace the big one. That's the important one. Make sure to replace the big one and you'll be all right. All right, once you got your new filter in there, fill it up. Take your time. Keep filling till you see the fluid level right at that rim right there. Once you got it there, slap it back in, tighten her up. A little over, tighten her all the way, and then maybe a little bit more and make her super snug. But no need to go gorilla on it, okay? Alright, once you got that slap back in there, you're good to go. Now go slide back over here, and you'll find the oil bolt. Go ahead and loosen that 14mm bolt up. Have something to catch it in, of course. And if you just push it in while you're, after you got loosened up, you can minimize the spillage. For the most part. Go and set your bolts aside. Get your paper towels, clean up the mess. Alright, we got our oil drained out. We got the bolt tightened back up. Got that tightened back up. Now we're going to put our skid plate back on. Remember to go in those holes, those oval holes that we looked at earlier. Lift it up in there, slide it to the passenger side a little bit, and then you'll have to hold it up. Probably easiest to slap in one of the back 12mm bolts to hold it up. And you can slap the rest of them in. Make sure these go on the outside of the skid plate. Skid plate goes underneath. This goes over it. Let's do that, and then we can fill it back up. So you're filling it back up. Go ahead and make it easy. Put in 8 quarts back in. Take 7.9, but 8 is fine. Fills it right to the full line. Tighten her up, and you're good to go. Start her up. Park her back where she needs to go. And congratulations, my friend. You just changed the oil. Saved yourself tons of money. Now let's get riding.